Lock in America! It's time for Straight Talk! This is the Wayne Dupree Podcast, hosted by Wayne Dupree, with co-host Jason Robertson, delivering powerful opinions, arty debates on politics, entertainment, and the hottest stories. No spin, just honest takes and real conversation! The Wayne Dupree Podcast is lit!
Okay, there we go. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know if the music sounded or not. I don't know.
How about Rumble Studio? It is the jankiest thing ever.
Did you hear anything?
I heard the music start, and then about halfway through it quit.
Okay, so I guess I did have it on the right one. Let me do this. Okay. All right. Welcome to the show. My name is Wayne Dupree, and we are live. It is Monday, June 1st. We're in the middle of the year, ladies and gentlemen. The middle of the freaking year. This year is going by super fast. That's what happens when you get old.
Uh-oh.
For those that are watching, to the millions watching around the world. No, I'm kidding. To many of those that are watching and listening, thank you for tuning in to the show. We broadcast Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I've been thinking about some stuff. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right, what are you thinking about, Wayne? Let's do that.
I just got so much to do these days in trying to get things back in order. So I don't know, Jason. I might have to. I don't know about Thursdays anymore.
Trim her back to a few days a week.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Something happened to my thing. I can't hear him.
Can you hear me now? Can the audience hear me? Anybody?
Okay, I got you. I got you now.
All right.
Yeah,
I gotta say, don't you miss StreamYard? Rumble is.
Oh man. I never knew I had it so good with StreamYard. For real. Jason, give me your. I'm going to say, Jason, give me your last thoughts.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have a great afternoon. No, we got Jason from Minnesota. What's up, Jason?
Hey, folks. Happy Monday. Welcome to the Wayne Dupree Podcast. As always, do us a favor. Give us a like, give us a comment, give us a share. Helps the show get reach. And I hope you all had a great weekend. I don't know. Wayne was sending me pictures. He was walking and cooking. And Jen and I had great time with the grandbaby. Life is good. And we appreciate y'all for tuning in and hanging out with us.
I was able to get out and I did some major walking this weekend. 2 straight days, right? It's two straight days of major walking. And right after the show, I'm gonna get out there and do it again. Because back in the day when we were growing up, around noontime would be hot as heck. Hot. Super hot. But these days, between 2 and 4 is when it's hot. Or 2:30 and 4:30 is when it's hot. So I figured, I get out there around 11 o'clock. It was good, to tell you the truth. It was good. Yeah, it was a really good walk.
Walking is so great. It's like got everything. You're getting outside, which is huge. You're getting sunlight, which is huge. You're getting some exercise.
I got
You're
some.
seeing things, birds, whatever. Other people, you might get to say hi to somebody. And it's really cheap entertainment. Like we'll take our grandbaby and we'll just go on, and the kids will be like, oh man, you guys spoil her. It's like we literally spent 3 hours on a walk. Like it was free. Like we brought some bottles of water and it's getting outside doing stuff. It's so fulfilling.
Yeah, and you get to your meditation. You get to think about a couple things, and you really get, well, maybe not too much inside yourself, but uh, but you do get to check out different things, and you get to set markers and all types of stuff. So yeah, so I mean, it was great. It was great, and I'm gonna jump right out there right after the show and see if I can do it another day.
It's
Except,
funny. One thing our pastor talked about like a month ago, and it really has resonated with me. It's in today's day and age, you just like he talks about like reading the Bible and meditating. And I think people should read. I know I should read more. But when you read a book, it puts you in a whole different place than even if you're like reading an audiobook. And when you're just doing things that are quiet and peaceful and you reflect on God or life or whatever you're going through. Like as a society, we have completely lost the ability to be bored and just sit there and think. And it was funny. He had a whole sermon kind of centered around that, where it's like, you need to build in that time just in your day to do stuff. Like Jen and I in the summer, it's great. Every day we grab the dogs, we head to the dog park. It's like just half hour, an hour. You maybe say hi to a couple people or chat with somebody, but you're outside and it's just like, you pull yourself out of the hustle and bustle. And I think the more people do that, the healthier it is for you.
yep. All right. Let's get into the show. Ladies and gentlemen, you have seen milk at $5.49. You've seen the eggs at $4.79. You basically don't need a chart to tell you what's happening to your money. You feel it every time you check out at the register. Here's one thing that you don't need. Well, here's one thing that you won't hear at the register, and if you hear it, you won't hear it very loud, is when a war in the Persian Gulf sends oil through the roof and the dollar gets shaky, hard assets are how regular people have protected themselves for thousands of years. Gold doesn't care who's in the White House. It doesn't care what the Fed does next. That's why we are talking about Augusta Precious Metals. They walk you through their program. They only it's only I think it's 3 steps. They walk you straight, no pressure, no hype. Veterans helping you protect everything that you have built. So we're asking you to check out waynesgold.com and get their free guide. Or you can text Wayne to 35052 and they will send you their free guide. Again, they won't call you. They're not. It's not one of those spam like calls. You're not going to get 5 of them inside of an hour, and you got to hide from them like the Jehovah's Witness. But they will send you the information and check through it. And if you're interested, give them a call. When the experts tell you to relax and your grocery bill says otherwise, that's the moment that you need to really look inside yourself and hedge and try to make some changes. So check out, again, waynesgold.com or text Wayne to 2265.2. Now, I was just talking about the feeling the pain, and a member of the Trump administration, yes, economist, basically was bringing up the optimism type of deal. According to the University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Survey, released it last week, as a matter of fact, the index fell to a record low 48.2% in May, lowest of the survey's 7-decade history, fell into the third straight month. Now that's not a vibe. That's the worst reading that they have ever recorded, according to the conference's board. Well, the conference's board confidence, its index slipped to 93.1, and its own chief economist, Dana Peterson, said the confidence edged down as the inflationary impacts of the war in the Middle East intensified. Even the optimistic survey names the war as the cause. Now, the White House National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett was speaking on ABC yesterday, and he said that Americans are missing the really positive news. On balance, real incomes, real wages are going up. That's optimism. Half, which is basically half of the title today, and that's coming from the top economic advisor. So, and then the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which they're the ones that revise every month.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
They lie about the unemployment rate too.
Yeah. So, well, what do you feel, or what's your opinion, NewsGuard, on well, everybody knows about the gas prices, but lately there's been over the last couple of days, the so-called experts are coming out and now saying that grocery prices are looking to increase over the next few months, also due to the war. And then what happened this morning, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. What's your opinion on the hurt that some are feeling, and the optimism that the top economic advisor is talking about?
Well, I think you've got two factors. One, the war in Iran is affecting prices. I mean, that's just a fact. For me, I don't sweat that as much, because if Trump had credible evidence that there was nuclear weapons in Iran, then it's probably something he needed to do, and we just got to bite the bullet. And it sucks. Sucks politically. It sucks at the gas pump. It sucks for all of that. So I guess you either believe Trump got information that said they had a nuclear weapon or close or uranium, in which case this is just, it kind of is what it is, or you don't believe that, in which case then there's some other reason. But yeah, the war is affecting prices long term. So that's kind of a separate issue. Long term, I think what the Trump administration has done to this economy has been phenomenal. They're cutting out a lot of the NGO stuff. There's a whole ecosystem of economic activity that was produced that was fake, that wasn't real. Like, you take tax money, you throw it into an NGO. The NGO has all these people working for them, directly or indirectly, doing activities that really aren't moving the needle for the country. That money's drying up. You have tariffs are working, and tariffs are making it where people are starting to grow more food in America. It takes time. They're starting to open factories. We're starting to get investments in America. It's going to happen. The end result of all this is going to be, you're going to have people who worked in industries that weren't really making or doing things that helped America. Those people are going to feel a pinch, and they're going to have to figure something else out to do. And you're going to have people that actually do things that help America, build things, fix things, grow things. Those people, it's going to be a good economy for. So I think, none of it happens overnight. Wayne was making a few faces as I was talking, so I'll be curious what his take is.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, I'm listening.
but I mean, as I look, like, take for example your two daughters. You've shared on the show. One's a nurse, and one does some climate stuff. We don't have to go into all the details, but the whole climate stuff industry is kind of fake. Like it was way bigger than what it should be. It wasn't producing a tangible asset like nursing does. Nursing produces a tangible asset, a needed good. And we have, like, think of how much money the country spent on DEI initiatives at companies, and there was an entire class of HR departments who had consultants and all those people that made really good money pushing DEI stuff. That's getting knocked out of those companies. And now those companies can reallocate those assets to actually making consumer products or goods or services. But the people that are sitting in the DEI department or who used to teach DEI training classes, like, they got to figure out something else to do. And so I think a lot of them are just kind of saying, we'll wait till the Democrats get back in and this fake stuff comes back. Whereas for people who really want to take advantage of doing something productive, like, I mean, it's never been a better time to get in the trades. You start getting illegals out of here, like, you can actually make a better living in the trades. I mean, it's a different economy, and I support the direction he's going in.
I was listening to, talking about how the unemployment is going up. One of the people from the White House said the reason why the unemployment is going up is because we have gotten rid of a whole lot of people that we've gotten rid of a whole lot of illegals that had these jobs, and that's why unemployment is or the percentage has gone up. When I heard that, I was like, well, hold on. If they're leaving, then shouldn't Americans be taking that job? And
yes, they're not.
Unemployment's coming down. I mean, it should be coming down. So, but yeah,
so let me give you an example, a real world example.
Hold on. I'll throw it back to you in a second. But for me, as only maybe a couple people know, and from what I have seen, to me, I don't think. I mean, some people can frame the economy as bad. Some people can frame the economy as great, but I think it's a little bit more than that. The people that keep running it, and they have run it for years, because the economy really hasn't really been super great for a whole lot of years, because Bureau of Labor and all that stuff, they revise and everything. But first they come out and tell you, oh, we're great. And then they'll, on the obituary page, then they tell you, then they revise things the next month, and you really don't know about it. But the people that are telling you that things are good, but you're seeing your receipts that are saying things aren't good, or that the numbers are high, or how things are affecting you and your savings, or we were just talking about the dollar, or we're talking about Augusta Precious Metals and the gold. That's affecting your retirement account and your savings account. You've heard me talk about the accountability side. Somebody over the weekend agreed with me in a way, but they didn't. I don't think they watched the show, but we were talking about accountability. And I put a new story on Substack about fraud, and how past administrations have said that we're going to tackle it, and then nothing really comes from it. One of my responses on the Substack said, the last time we really saw any government really try to do something was probably Reagan. And I know my co-host had, he's not Reagan, but
I like Reagan. He just screwed some stuff up.
In the comments, I was like, wow, you're right. That's the last time they really had that accountability tight to hold, or that's when the media is like, okay, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And there's a whole lot of pushback. There hasn't been a whole lot of pushback over the last 30 years, last 40 years. There haven't been a whole lot of pushback. So when you don't have that pushback, and when you don't have, like, when this happened under Biden, man, we were like, we were like, you didn't need to go to Ukraine. You didn't need to do the Afghanistan thing. You didn't need to do that. You didn't need to do that. That's making prices go up. You didn't need to do that with the chickens thing. The eggs, prices and stuff. If you're going to hold them accountable, you have to hold everybody accountable. You have to hold Hassett, the economic person that just came out and said, you have to hold everybody accountable, because if it's affecting you, if it's not affecting you, which some people on social media is like, nah, I'm having my good days, and I'm not experiencing any of this, and my dollar and my gas is $3.25. Well, it's not really for you, and somehow, some way, that's how things roll. Sometimes it doesn't hit everybody, but for the people that it does hit, those people, you need to hold everybody accountable until you can at least see something that is in your favor, and then you can say, "Oh, you're right. The job is good." All right, Jason, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, here's what's going to happen with the economy. If Trump keeps his foot on the pedal with tariffs and with deregulation, like there's been a ton of deregulation that isn't talked about, and that's changing the economy. But as just kind of an overview, simple, like real world example, we have in Minnesota, we had a bunch of illegals that were doing jobs in the trades, and the companies would hire illegals to do that work. Minnesota wouldn't prosecute them, but they could pay them less money than they would pay an American, because you'd say, oh, these roofers, these Hispanics that are living 10 to a house, they'll work for $20 an hour cash. An American would want $30 an hour to go do that work. Is your roof cheaper because the illegals are doing it? Yeah. Is it better overall for the economy, for how things are supposed to work? No. And then concurrently, so roofing, very valuable, very needed skill, something that we would like Americans to do, and we'd like companies to pay them a better wage. Like, those jobs are starting to open up now as the illegals are getting shipped out. Now, on the flip side, you have people working at Starbucks who want $30 an hour and benefits. And Starbucks is not highly skilled. It isn't that hard. It isn't any of those things. And so those people that want $30 an hour need to say, okay, I'm not going to get $30 an hour making coffee. I'm going to have to go learn roofing. I'm going to have to go learn electrical. I'm going to have to go learn HVAC. I'm going to have to go learn that. And they're not liking it. A lot of them want to scream and cry and say, oh no, this thing should pay me this. But sorry, your Starbucks shouldn't pay that much. Like, roofing should pay that much. And we would all pay a little more for our roof and a little less for our coffee. So that's going to be the shift. Is, are people going to be willing to move out of jobs that are less essential into jobs that are more essential? And if they're not, they're going to have a really hard time in the economy. And if they are, then they're going to come out like gangbusters, and even like content creators. Wayne's a content creator. I do digital marketing. Like, our business has changed a lot since Trump took office. How your ad revenue works, what sorts of products are selling, those sorts of things. And a ton of that money was funded indirectly from NGOs. All this money that go into all these nonprofits, huge chunks of it found its way into the advertising ecosphere. Same thing with big pharma and all that. And even what's that?
It's gone now.
Yeah. I mean, and even if that money wasn't going to your show or your product necessarily, it just drove up all the ad rates. So a content creator, if you got a million views, you made X amount of money. Now you get a million views, you make less money. And so that just means you have to pivot and do different things and figure different things out. So, but the money kind of wasn't real. Like, I mean, the paycheck was real, but it was artificially inflated. And the last example I'll use is the auto industry. The auto industry under Joe Biden, they shifted all this money into EVs. And we talked about it on the show. He gave billions of dollars to the automotive industry to get them to switch to EVs. And we talked about how it was silly and that money kind of ran its course, but it had a great 2 or 3 years. Automakers reporting huge profits. They were getting big bonuses. We covered the strikes where the strikers were like, oh, you got to raise our wages, blah, 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 blah. And they did. They won huge contracts. We covered the automotive strike under Joe Biden. But the problem was all of it was fake. It wasn't they were selling more cars. It was they were getting government money to push EVs. And when that money dries up, now your automotive industry, you're going to see layoffs. You're going to see renegotiation of contracts. You're going to see all these things. But in my opinion, like that auto industry kind of mini boom of jobs was just, it was government funded. It's not real. So when that money dries, now they have to get back to making cars people want.
Yeah, I think Americans are sick and tired of the U.S. government bailing out all of these companies all the time, airlines, companies, and especially when it's not even their money. The government does this all the time. They put the horse before the cart, hoping that, or in the name of the American people, and some of them are even arrogant enough to say the American people want this, and the American people are like, I ain't got no money. I never said I wanted nothing. I just leave me alone. Just let me talk to the robbers down the street, or the Johnsons or the Smiths, and I can work out my own deals. I don't need y'all to be creating nothing for me, because actually the government should be creating nothing, and actually they don't. Well, I'm sorry. Yes, they do. They create chaos. They don't create anything meaningful for the American people. That's for the American people. They don't. They can't even do the border right. But they have lately, but they can't even do the border right. This wasn't on my list of things to talk about, but I think I did hear something about it. Somebody on Twitter just asked a question. Jason and Wayne, what do you think about NDAA, House Armed Services Committee draft of the FY 2027? When I looked it up while you were talking, I looked it up. It's titled the United States-Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Act. It is not, now, to answer your question, because I didn't know what it was, and I don't know if Jason knows what it is, and maybe the audience doesn't know what it is, but it's not enacted yet. It's a draft committee text that still has to survive markup and floor debate. But what it actually does, per the bill text, it would require the Secretary of Defense to designate an executive agent responsible for synchronizing cooperative efforts. Oh, this is what that was. Between the United States and Israel, including bilateral defense technology research, development, testing, evaluation, integration, and industrial cooperation. In plain English, one Pentagon official to coordinate fusing the two countries' defense work across emerging tech. Okay, so I did hear something about this. Thank you. Let's see. I didn't hear it like this, but I did hear something about our emerging militaries and stuff. I'll start out by saying this, and then I give it. the United States has been working with Israel on so many things in the past behind the scenes. So this is not new. They're just bringing it out in front. Go ahead, Jason.
No, I want you to step in the Israel landmine. Let's go for it.
I don't.
Just go for it, Wayne. Whatever.
I don't want the United States to really be doing anything with Israel right now, except maybe having a revival and praying. I really don't think that we should be giving them any money. I really don't. And I was thinking this morning when I posted on the thing, and we've said it here on the show. And let me expand on it just briefly. President Trump is in a quagmire right now. He's trying to work out something with Israel, with Iran. Y'all know it. I know it. God knows it. The trifecta is there. He's trying to work out something with Iran. Jason eloquently said, Israel's interest is not the United States' interest. They continue. Iran doesn't want the United. Man, it's a lot of crap going on. Iran doesn't want Israel to do anything with Lebanon anymore. Leave them alone. We'll go ahead and do this peace thing, and we can shut things down. We get things ready to go, and the United States can leave. Israel don't see it that way. People from Israel last week said, we're going to do whatever we want to do. That's it. We're going to continue hitting Lebanon. We're doing it all weekend. We're going to do it next week. We're going to do it. As a matter of fact, they even came out and said, we're going to, he told the military, take Gaza 70%, 75%. Just go on in there, And it's like Iran came out this morning and said, nope, we're out. We're backing off. A couple of days ago, they were that close. They were frog's hair. From the thing had been sent to President Trump, agreed, let's go ahead and call this thing. United States hit Iran in the south, said that we saw places that they were launching stuff from, and we're doing it as a pre-defense type of thing. We're going to do that. Okay, so doing a ceasefire, supposed to be a ceasefire. We're going to go ahead and hit it.
Have to answer shoes, Wayne.
Just call me Sammy. I mean, just babe. Just babe. Just it's just honestly, it's too much. And I'll wrap it up. I'll wrap it up like this because I really want to hear what he has to say. I'll wrap it up and say this. If the United States, if President Trump decided in the next minute and a half, pull everybody out, bring everybody home, and let's just finish it, that's how it is. We would not be done with what's over there because Israel's going to keep on doing what they do, and then they're going to get in trouble because then they would seemingly be by themselves, and then the United States will have to step back in. So right now it's like we're dancing to the beat. We're tapping to the beat of Israel's drum. Go, Jason. I'm tired.
All right, Wayne.
It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot I wanted to say, but there's so many sensitive people out there. They don't hear the truth.
All right, I'm going to offend people. I'm breaking out the conspiracy theory hat. I'll quit freaking tiptoeing around. Here's the facts. Wayne Dupree, I'm going to quiz you quick, and I'm going to quiz our audience. How many Jews were killed in the Holocaust? Rough number. We don't need to go into the conspiracy theory.
Don't do that.
No. How many? What's the commonly accepted number?
5 million, 6 million?
Yeah, like 6.5.
Okay.
How many communists, how many people died in Mao's communist takeover of China? Let me know in the comments.
Billion, wasn't it?
No, it was like between 40 and 80 million,
Okay.
depending on what you do. How many people were taken? How many people died in the communist takeover of the USSR? Just rough guess.
That was more, wasn't it?
No, it was less than Mao. Rough estimates are 20 to 60 million.
I know it's high, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just putting in perspective, and I'm not justifying anything for anything. More people died from communism in China and in Russia by a factor of 10 in each case than Jews died in the Holocaust. And I'm not minimizing the Jews dying in the Holocaust, but if you walk up to the average American, they're going to think what happened to the Jews in the Holocaust was the most evil, awful, worst thing ever in the history of mankind. There are far worse things that have happened to humans in our grandparents' lifetime. And I'm not saying, but everybody is taught that what happened was the worst thing ever. We can never let it happen again. Oh my gosh. And especially on the left, it's these same idiots who are pushing communism when communism killed 10 times more people than the artist and the Germans. That's just the fact. In our entire lifetime, Israel was an unassailable ally because of what happened in the Holocaust. Now, I'm not even going into the people who think that wasn't real. I'm just saying if you just take their number and we could go down are the numbers real. But Wayne likes his channel, so we're not going to go down there. I'm just taking their numbers. So the fact that an American in the year 2026 doesn't know that 10 times more people died under communism in China and communism in the USSR than Jews died in the Holocaust, that is criminal. And that shapes our worldview. It has made Israel this beacon of unquestionable, we need to support them no matter what. They're our greatest ally, all this stuff. And people are finally starting to say it. And in defense, like some of the, especially people my age and older, are going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe you're saying something bad about Israel. Like, because we grew up where that just wasn't okay. You just couldn't do that. The young people, if you look at kind of how it's breaking out, the young people are like, what the hell are we doing in Israel? And they don't even understand the communism, some of that stuff, or how it's been pushed in the schools. I hope I live long enough to see us break this unhealthy relationship we have with Israel. It's an abusive marriage. It is your buddy you go hang out with who always gets you in trouble. It is all of the things. And they have pushed that because we have convinced the entire world that the most evil, awful thing that ever happened was Hitler and the Holocaust. And there are far worse human tragedies in the world. I mean, look at how many people the Muslims killed when they overrode Europe. Look, I mean, the things are out there. And at some point, and I'm not saying we need to like be mean to Israel or not support them, but we have treated them like the unofficial 51st state for my entire life. They manipulate our elections, they manipulate our politicians. I want us done with them and moving on to America, like whatever. And like even this Iran thing, this would be done if not for Israel. Donald Trump wanted to take out their nuclear capability. In my opinion, I believe that's sincere. I think Donald Trump heard they were going to make a nuke or they had enriching him. He's like, I'm going in. And now Israel just keeps poking the bear and prolonging and screwing it up. And all this, and everybody who wants to complain about the prices, complain about Israel, because if they let Trump get his job done, this would be over. And yeah.
And you know what? You know what? That's a great way to look at it. It's like Israel doesn't want it to end. Or no. Netanyahu does not want it to end. He doesn't want. He's blood eagle. Whatever. I mean, that's the way he has always been. To tell you the truth, and he's not even Jewish. But in you were just giving numbers just a while ago. Between 6 and 7 million Jewish people who were supposed to have been killed died in at the hands of the German. Did you and y'all heard those numbers that Jason just gave you? Did you know that between 20 and 40 million Soviet Union citizens were killed in fighting Germany? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. In fighting Germany, citizens between 26 and 27 were citizens of the USR, and they lost their lives. So the numbers that Jason was talking about, that number that I just gave you, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people. So when you can't say anything bad about another country, I mean, well, actually, we can say everything bad about every other country. Every other country on this earth, we can talk bad about, except Israel. Or at least some of y'all can. You can't. But am I going too far to say that President Trump's hands are tied right now?
We're discovering that the country of Israel has way more power in our political process than anybody wanted to admit. And that includes Trump. And I think Trump's trying to do the best he can.
I think he's trying. Honestly, I really think he's trying to get out. I really believe that he's trying to get out of there, and based on everything that was coming down last Friday, Saturday, Friday, I really thought, to a point, I really thought that they were really close to a deal. They were. When did Junior get married?
I think it was a week and a half ago, roughly.
Okay. So yeah,
or like a week ago.
Everything, it looked like it was going to be a deal, but somewhere in the back of my mind, and if you follow me on Twitter, I will quickly say, okay, just give it a couple minutes, just wait. Israel's going to do something. Israel's going to, because Netanyahu, I'm sorry, I keep on saying Israel. It's not Israel as the people, because Israel as a people, they're getting bombed to hell too. All right. They aren't happy. They aren't happy that the dome is supposed to be, nobody's really talking about the dome anymore.
Right. Hey, can I jump on one comment too? I can't pull it up, but JR just dropped something on YouTube. But was they all marched to the gas chamber? I can't pull it up because of the new studio or whatnot. But here's what I want to say, JR. What the communists did in China and Russia was as bad or worse than what happened to the Jews in Germany. If you didn't support the party, if you were a Christian, they lined you up on the wall and shot you. If you were unproductive, they killed you. If you were and that's my point, all the atrocities, like the Jews were rounded up, they were used as slave labor. When their usefulness as slave labor was running out, they killed them. That is the officially accepted narrative. And some people will say, oh, I don't know about that, but that's what happened. They rounded them up, they threw them in ghettos. They said, you're going to go build, whatever weapons. They were slave labor. That happened in all these communist countries at a scale 10 times more than what happened to the Jews. It happened to Christians. It happened to people that just didn't support the communist regime. And those same people, the same awful, horrible things happen. But nobody learns anything about that. Nope. Nobody learned. Go down the rabbit hole of what Mao did when he took over, the communists took over, or the USSR, or those kind of things. But that image of the Holocaust has created Israel where they're an unassailable position. And right now, in my opinion, they're screwing with Trump. Trump's like, okay, cool, we got to go take out their nuclear capabilities. Donald Trump doesn't want them to have a nuke. And I'll be honest, I don't either. If Donald Trump, it's kind of like the Gulf War. If there were really weapons of mass destruction, okay, I'm in. I think they lied to us about the weapons of mass destruction, so that's where I have a problem with it. Donald Trump dropping in, getting Maduro, don't really care. Like, doesn't affect my life. That if he thought there was enriched uranium and he's like, we need to go do this, I can get behind that. I don't want Iran to have a nuke. Now, if he was lied to, if it was fault, now we have a different story. But he got in and did what he wanted to do. Now he wants to get out, and we all want to move on with life, and we're getting sucked in.
And see, that's my thing. I think that Netanyahu, not the Israeli people, yo, not this.
Let me just interrupt you for a sec. Like, that's part of the Israel thing. When we say Israel's doing this, we are talking about the government of Israel. But think of how pussified we've become about Israel.
I know, right.
Because we can't even say Israel's doing this.
Right.
But we can say Russia's doing this.
Right.
When no, the average Russian citizen's not doing it.
Exactly.
Putin and his government's doing it.
I agree.
Or but even with Israel, we have to put this caveat like, oh, well, I'm not talking about all of the Jewish people. No, we don't. Like, why do they get a special thing? We don't say England they're doing this and have to caveat it. Well, technically it was Starmer or whatever. Like, Israel has an elected government. Israel's government is doing this stuff. It is making life harder for Americans, and I want to speak up with it.
I look, and I agree with you 100% on that, because when we get to this point and talking about something like this, and we have to quantify, well, not everybody. Honestly, it really doesn't make us feel good that we have to do that, because it's almost like we're trying to hide something, or we're trying to protect something, when we're trying to give you the truth about what's going on, or our opinion about what's going on, NewsGuard. So, because that's another thing. When the U.S. government does something overseas, or like when the Ukraine thing happened, and little boy Blue got on there and thank you to the American people for giving us billions of dollars. No, we didn't. We didn't say you could have $1 billion.
I didn't write a check. That's bullshit.
I mean, we are against it. And or when Congress decides that they're going to wear those Ukrainian pins and stuff, like, that ain't us. No, y'all shouldn't have been doing what you're doing anyway. Or when it's exactly what JR said. But I do believe, Wayne believes that Netanyahu got his war. Netanyahu got it, and when President Trump came back from China, he hadn't been back a hot 48 hours when Netanyahu puts out a press release. I need to talk to President Trump, or I'm talking to him tomorrow. Going to find out everything that happened. You ain't leader of the world. How are you going to contact President Trump and find out what happened in China? China ain't got nothing to do with you. As a matter of fact, China did something. Oh yeah.
Right, and if I can just make one point, you touch on something while you look that up. Here's what frustrates the shit out of me. Is everybody, like, on the left especially, or like, oh, Trump's owned by Israel. Are you just figuring out that our entire government's been owned by Israel for like decades? Like, is this news to you? You don't think Democrats are owned by Israel? You don't think AIPAC is pulling the strings? You don't think this country has infiltrated us, and Trump, I feel, is doing a job to break those ties respectfully. Okay. But at this point, like, the two are so interconnected that good luck. I mean, it's like when we talk about draining the swamp or going after the deep state, he probably needs to hire or fire 30% of all the federal workers just to make a dent on the deep state. how do you think he's going to do that? Like, this isn't like he goes in and like, oh, it turns out the deep state was 10 bad guys. Let's get rid of those 10. Like, this is a huge problem that's been going on for decades. So, like, the guy's doing the best he can. Like, extend some grace for that and hope it works out. It's like this Iran thing. Like, okay, Trump felt he had reason to go in there, get it done, great. Now, like, Israel quit poking the bear. Like, we're done with this. And Donald Trump needs to take an ally that you couldn't even criticize for the last 50 years and be like, you guys need to shut the hell up. And, and not to mention, like, between Mossad and everything else, like, who knows what other things they have.
For me, there are times that President Trump does sound like Netanyahu. I mean, just there are certain things that he has said about the war and said about certain things. He sounds like Netanyahu, and I'm like, damn. And probably could trace that back to Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham basically report NewsGuard. There's a report out there that Lindsey Graham spoke to Netanyahu and basically told him what to say. And that's who has really been bullish about everything that's been going on too. If you listen to Lindsey Graham, he sounds like he's the president of the United States sometimes, and saying we got to do this, we gonna do that, and if you don't do this, we're gonna bring the full force and might and stuff. I don't think Lindsey served in the military. Let me check, but
I think he was in the military a little bit, if you know what I mean.
Navy, but no.
Or the military was in him, if you know. We're getting spicy on the Wayne Dupree podcast. And I apologize if I offended anybody with my Israel rant. I'm just so sick
you're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing.
I'm just so sick of this government getting involved in our junk and making life harder on us. And God love Trump for trying to clean this up.
And that's, ladies and gentlemen, what he's talking about is what is happening right now. If President Trump close to a deal, Iran close to a deal, they're getting ready to do this, and Israel comes out of nowhere and messes stuff up. It's not the first time. This is a habit. I mean, it's not even an accident. This is a habit, and then you have to come to the realization they don't want peace. They don't want it. You know that Palestinian state, or the Palestinian peace agreement thing. Do you know how many times that there was a deal on the table and Netanyahu said no? He said no. That's documented, NewsGuard. He said no deal. Now what you have over the weekend, and now Netanyahu is basically saying to his troops, IDF, 75%, go in there and take it. Really? Seriously? Wow. And that's okay. Okay. If that's what y'all believe in, but who do you think Israel's actions are hurting more? Them or President Trump? Think about it like that. Who's with them continue? They came out last week, said, they ain't gonna tell us what to do. We're gonna continue to hit Lebanon. We're gonna continue to go. We're gonna continue to hit journalist cars because somebody told us that they were carrying a bomb in it. I mean, that's why.
Here's what's wild too is if you look at just the polling, if you believe polling, and I'm always skeptical of polling until you get like, if it's like 49-51, whatever. But when something's like 80-20, you can say, okay, directionally, there's some truth here. If you look at any of the polling for young people, the left has been pretty done with Israel for a while. Especially young people, their murders, genocide, all that. Young right people are more down on Israel than they've ever been.
Yeah, they are.
And it's like after October 7th, everybody's like, oh, Israel's got to do what they got to do. I was one of them. Like,
Yeah.
if that happened to me and I'm Israel, I'm going to want to go take care of it.
Yep.
Now it's 3 years later. You got to get that cleaned up, guys.
It's
Like,
like,
this is going on way too long. Like,
it's like for anybody that doesn't think, well, and I'm not saying that they got their justice, but if anybody doesn't think that Israel paid that back, that October 7th back, especially with the first nuclear or with the first bombing that they did before this one. Before this one, they were supposed to wipe everything off the map, set them back 20, 30 years and stuff and everything. That was supposed to be it. Then all of a sudden, which guy comes over here, wants to talk to President Trump. Boom! Another one. Why? What? How now? How now? Somebody just got to say, you know what? Go. We're coming home. What? Yep. Wait. What? Whoa, no, you can't. No. We're coming home. As a matter of fact, take his number off of my red phone, and we'll just sit here and watch. We'll just sit here and watch. I don't think that that's going to happen like that, because, as I said, if President Trump right now, if everybody coming home, Israel's gonna get effed up, and then we're gonna have to go back. The United States is gonna have to go back over there and help. And this merging of the military, that's total BS right there. Now, I don't know the intricate parts of it, but like I was saying before, the United States and Israel has been doing things together behind the scenes. They even did that. They almost made Iran blow their own stuff up. Remember that computer hack into their rides and stuff but then Iran came back and shut down some banks. Now, I mean, if you don't take anything else away from the show, just know this. President Trump. Re-examine
how you feel about our relationship with Israel.
Yeah, just really look at it hard. Just look at it hard. Just look, and if your judgment is misconstrued, then talk to God about it. Talk to God about it. Should we be doing this? Is this what you want? Just talk to God, because right now, the United States is in a place right now that they're talking about closing down two places now, as of this morning, right? They're talking about closing down two places, Strait of Hormuz and something else. And if y'all haven't been looking at the geology side of it, the Strait of Hormuz is on one side of Saudi Arabia. There's another one on the other side that Iran is friends with the people on the other side that also control some of that oil travel out of the other side, on the other side of the country. So I don't know. Maybe that's why other presidents didn't do it. I don't know.
Like I say, I think they convinced Trump that he had enriched uranium, which I'll say, from all the reports coming out and Iran's reaction, Iran is essentially confirming they have enriched uranium. And it's like, yeah, you aren't supposed to have that.
Yeah, but Telsey is saying, Telsey was saying something different.
Just saying, in the last 30, 60 days, other information's come out. And if you watch it, how Iran is handling negotiations, their hard line is like, no, we're not giving up our enriched uranium.
Yeah, the Persians, though.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, for Trump, I think there is some truth to what he got in saying, like, these guys are way closer to a nuclear weapon than we're giving them credit for.
Okay. All right. I just, yeah. The way It's just, I think that they have the upper hand. And
Iran.
yeah, I really think that they have the upper hand, especially in that strait. Somehow, some way, they think they have the upper hand, and they have hit over 228 plus assets of the United States in that area, 15 bases or 16 bases. And it's like China is helping them, Russia's helping them, North Korea is helping them. And from reports, I think it was a report that came out from the Pentagon or whatnot. I don't know whether both sides decided we're just going to take a couple of times off and then we're going to rebuild and then we're going to go back at it. But the report is saying that Iran is starting to rebuild their stuff a whole lot faster than what they were that our intelligence thought that they were going to in the first place. It's Jason. Give me some last thoughts. Let's get out of here.
All right, I'm going to do last thoughts. Well, one in the Rumble chat. Sorry, I can't pull it up. Paul Reese joined the Flooded Kitchen Club. So congratulations, Paul Reese.
Oh, really? Okay.
Watcher leaked. Oh my God, Paul. I got a contractor. If you need one, shoot me up. Willette Construction. They're really good. They do all that stuff. But that sucks, Paul. Prayers to you. Second thought is maybe we can touch on it tomorrow. The Senate candidate, that Grant guy, the oyster farmer up in Maine. Like, the information coming out on him is hysterical. I think we need to talk about it. It's like he's the guy that started with the Nazi tattoo, and then they're like, who doesn't have a Nazi tattoo? And now it's like he's on a app known for pedophilia. He was cheating on, like, not cheating on his wife, but it was like it is hysterical. I'm looking this weekend as stuff kept coming out of the guy, and I'm like, oh my God. It was, I don't have all the details. Maybe we can talk about it tomorrow. And then third thought, we got primaries tomorrow. Spencer Pratt's primary.
That's tomorrow?
Yeah, I believe that's tomorrow. So this is going to be pretty exciting. And if you haven't followed Spencer Pratt and his really just looking at it from how he's running his campaign, it might be one of the most brilliant campaigns that I've seen next to Trump's campaign. I mean, like, he was going through filthy streets in California with an overlay that said, like, vote for Spencer Pratt. He was setting it on the ground with a pressure washer and pressure washing it so people walking in LA would see the filthy streets. And then it was just a brilliant marketing thing. But I hope everybody has a great day. I hope you have fun, and we'll see you all back tomorrow.
Did you see Dave Rubin?
You know, Dave Rubin blocked me in the DeSantis era.
Yeah,
And
he blocked me too, but there's some videos.
yeah, but I've seen Dave Rubin clips. It sounds like he was on like Outkick or something, and he did quite poorly. And
he got smoked. He got smoked. And usually I don't say that blast and smoke and destroyed and stuff like that too much. I watched that and I was like, that's where a lot of these podcasters are today, is that they just give you the headlines so that when they get in front of somebody, all it is, they ain't got no substance. They can't explain themselves. And when you go up against mediocre type, and they're not even millennials, Gen Zers, is that what they call now? When they go up against mediocre type Gen Zers that are just throwing stuff out there, and people like Dave Rubin are just giving headline responses, can't explain nothing, and looking bad. I'm like, oh.
well, yeah, and I saw a couple of clips. One was they were talking about the Iran war. And I mean, here's the answer that your rich, famous podcasters can't say. Like, whether Trump was right or wrong to get into it, Israel's making it hard to get out of. And I mean, that's just the answer. And everybody wants to.
Said it.
Yeah, Israel is acting in what they feel is Israel's best interest, isn't necessarily the U.S.'s interest. Dave Rubin can't say that. Dave Rubin has a bunch of big money people that support Israel.
Hey, Russia.
What's that?
Did you say Russia?
I don't think Russia, but it could be. But I'm just saying, like, he can't get out there and say, yeah, Israel is complicating our exit, which is just the answer. And
They called him out. They called him out on that Russia thing. They called him
yeah,
out
the
on.
Russia stuff I found pretty uncompelling when you look at the numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they're acting like some of these guys that got $10,000, like that's enough to move the needle. Like a $10,000 check to Dave Rubin or Tim Pool does not move the needle. Like that, like even if the money was real, that does not. Now, for somebody like Wayne and I, we might take our shirt off for $10,000, but like, you know, Tim Pool's got a lot more money than we do. At least me. I've seen the reports of Wayne's net worth. He might be rich.
You know, that's a lie. Yeah, whoever put that together, Wayne's a millionaire, but he lives modestly. Really, and then he's married with 2 boys. That alone should tell you that these people don't even know what they're talking about. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the hour to everybody that is watching and tuned in, and to everybody that was able to share the show. And for those that even pushed back on some of the stuff that we said today, thank you. You make the show what it is, and hopefully we don't want you to take our word for it. We want you to research it. As always, research it, read the story, check the source, and make up your own mind, because that's not why we're here. We're not here to make up your mind. We want you to make up your own mind. So until tomorrow, good evening.